It is another week into this 2020 fall semester for Trevecca Nazarene University and another conversation here on the Trevecca Sports Network. I'm Lucas Panzica. Today we have Trevecca women's basketball head coach Chad Hibdon, who has had himself quite a calendar year. Coach, thank you for being here. How are you?
Doing well this morning, and excited to talk with you and share some updates with Trevecca women's basketball.
Well, before we get to some of that, it's been almost 1 year, Coach, since you took your team up to Connecticut to play Gino Auriemma and the Yukon Huskies. Almost 1 year. Does that feel real to you when I say that?
Well, the reality of us doing that still has a little unrealness to it, I guess, and the experience we had was amazing and awesome. But yeah, as we look at it and go, wow, that was a year ago. Doesn't seem to be that long ago, but. We're on another season and another unique challenge. That was a unique challenge and a unique experience. We're in a unique challenge and experience now, and I think that's what we pride ourselves on here. And with basketball is just being prepared to handle those the uncertainties that may come our way.
Well, I know that night in November of 2019 was very special to you as you got to go up against your former player from Blackman High School, Crystal Dangerfield. And this past week, special to you as well, as you were inducted into the Blackman High School Hall of Fame for your incredible run there. 2 state titles, a national title, 2 National Coach of the Year awards. Coach, first, congratulations. Not many of us will ever get to say we're in the Hall of Fame of anything. What was that moment like for you, finding that out?
Well, it took me by surprise just a little bit because I told my wife, I said, I guess I'm old enough now to be considered a Hall of Famer. But really, it's just a reflection on the memories and the journey and the relationships that we had during those 10 years at Blackman. Obviously, players like Crystal and on down made that special. A special group of girls through that time, and obviously a lot of talent. But we did things what we feel like the right way. We had an integrity and a work ethic and a trust behind what we did, and that's why our program. It's more of a program to me, Hall of Fame kind of recognition, and saying, hey, the 10 years that we invested in each other, players, coaches, staff, in the community, in the school there. To be recognized for what we did, it definitely is special.
Well, you clearly made such an impact in your time at Blackman and in high school basketball in general. How has all your experience and success at that level made you a better coach for Trevecca?
Well, I think everything's a learning experience, and I think you carry it on from one day to the next, one season to the next. And, obviously from coaching high school for so many years and having the success and having great relationships through that. Basically, what I've done is taken that in the recruiting process, and we're recruiting high school student athletes. We're not yet recruiting college players. On the transfer, you do a little bit, but ultimately, I feel like I have an advantage because I coached those high school players for so long and shared the sideline and the 2-a-day practices and weight rooms and the things that high school student athletes go through. And so I feel like there's a really deeper connection and understanding of their journey and their process. And ultimately in the recruiting, I tell them our job is ultimately to, yes, inform them how much we're excited to recruit them to Trevecca and what Trevecca offers and who we are, but ultimately serve them as a resource to be there because I've been able to experience both of those sides from the high school and being there with them, and then now on the other side, trying to get them to see what it's like to be on the collegiate level. So that bridge and that bond between being on both sides, I think, is a huge advantage for us to communicate and ultimately, like I said, serve all of the recruits that we have. We won't get them all that we want, and all that wants to come here won't be able to come. But if we're out there being a resource for them and helping them make really good, wise decisions and building relationships through the process, then I think that's the blessing that we have to be able to do that.
Well, now you're approaching your 5th season as the head coach here at TNU. You're able to improve that win total in each of your first 3 years. Took a little step back last season as your roster hit hard by injuries. You finished 9-18. What did you learn from that 2019-2020 season?
Well, just the resiliency of our team. We took major blows. Starting point guard, and at the time, Faith was our leading scorer after 3 games, and and probably was going to be that, or definitely, top couple, scores. And, when you lose significant impact players like your starting point guard and fifth-year senior Brianna Bryan and then Faith coming in and being the freshman that we thought she could be, probably, an all-conference type player, at least, a freshman of the year candidate. You take a little bit of a step back. But our girls, we took a deep breath. I think it's kind of what we did, and just continue to say, hey, how can we navigate through this? How can we get better? How can we continue to improve? How can we stay positive? And then it just kept on. So that was, round one of a heavyweight battle for us through last year with injuries. And I think at one point in time we got down to 5 healthy varsity players. We had to bring some JV players up. And at that point in time, we just felt like the right thing to do was play those young ladies that are committing to us. We were playing 5-5 for about a month. And just playing one style with one group and another style with another group. So you can imagine, just piecing the things together. And ultimately, that goes back to having the resources of being a high school coach and not being so systematic and going, hey, every year we've kind of had to do things different. So we were able to put together some things and competed in a lot of those games and won some games maybe we shouldn't even have won. As we look at it, we look at the overall record and we're like, yeah, we took a little bit of a step back. But as we analyze what we had in participation of our players being healthy and kind of, from that, I think we grew a lot. Might have been our best year of growth, even though we didn't have that win total growth. But I think, potentially, and we'll see, the maturity, players that may not have gotten as many minutes as expected, got minutes in different situations, and were put in, a lot of tough situations, and the way they overcome it and endured through it, and then were, positive through that. That was that lesson that we felt like we came away with.
Had you ever experienced a season like that in your long coaching career? What other ways do you think you guys got better from it as a team?
Yeah, never have I experienced that significant amount of, it's injury and illness too, with sickness and those kind of things. I haven't had really accumulation in my career, I would think, those significant, amount of injuries and missed court time and those kind of things. I think it comes down to our players understanding that each day is that blessing. Each day is that opportunity that we don't want to waste. And I think they realize that now from seeing that and the time they're in the weight room or doing sprint work or agility drills, skill work, practice time. I think they walk away with a little sense of ownership to that and a little sense of really appreciating their opportunity and their time. And I think we all just kind of sit back and go, we could have just been poor pitiful me about it, but that's not who we are. We're always looking for the joy in those moments, and that's something that I think that they have looked at and go, hey, we can find joy in these moments, and we also can walk away with a better appreciation of what we have.
Well, you obviously returned a slew of players coming off of injuries from that season, one all-conference performer in Olivia Pepperman, and despite all the challenges you faced this year, it was a successful offseason in recruiting to the Hill. So how are you feeling about the nucleus of this team as we near the beginning of October?
Feeling really good about the nucleus and who we are as a unit and who we are as a program, our culture, and our young women. Pep she gives that example on the court every day of coming in and showing up and just competing, and that's what she does. And then you have an Abby Buck who's been here. Her and Pep have been here for 4 years, and Abby comes in and she knows her role. She's a leader, and she leads and promotes and enhances our culture. She provides that three-point shooting, but she understands. She understands her minutes. She understands her role. She even identified that with our team last year. And so with those two coming in, and then, the opportunity for those young players, and even an Annalise Burnett, who was a sophomore last year, but it was her first year in the program. We kind of, say she was a rookie in the program, maybe not a freshman, but a rookie in the program. They just got so much experience, and they have two great leaders in Olivia Pepperman and Abby Buck. And then with the addition of some maturity, we brought in a couple of transfers, Alex McFarland, Haley Vesey. That's just what we needed. We need young ladies that have been in the battle and been experienced and add some on-court things, but also add some locker room, maturity and getting through some of those things that you get through in a long basketball season. And then we love that freshman class, and it's headlined. There's no doubt it's headlined by Miss Basketball, Keely Carter. She's been everything we've expected her to be so far. We're working on her to, just elevate her game. And so where we thought she would be, that's where she is. And we're just looking at enhancing and elevating and, being that leader, being a communicator, and just plugging right in. And the rest of those freshmen and newcomers that are here just provide the things. We have that checklist, and we talk about, our athletic department, Christian Scholar Athlete, and we talk about the intangibles and the habits that we want in women's basketball. We have our 4 pillars: give, grow, love, and win. And like our group, they embody that. And it's been that first year that we've had, everybody on board and a significant amount of young women, number one, believe in it, number one, or number two, promoting that. And I think that's that next key for us, is just that constant growth of promoting what it takes to be successful at this level.
Coach, last thing here as we wrap up. Obviously, in a normal setting, you'd be full gear getting ready for your regular season starting in November, but a little bit of uncertainty. You don't know exactly when you're going to get to take the floor and play some competitive games. How do you and your staff approach these next few weeks and months with your team?
Preparation. I mean, it really is. We're just preparing for the next opportunity, try to stay ahead so that we're ready to go. The other thing is just constant communication. Even when we don't know, we're just constantly communicating with our team and our players. For us as competitors and athletes and, our women's basketball program, communication is really vital to us. We want to know what's going on. And when we don't, we just need to communicate, hey, here's what we do know. And that's what we try to do to give them a sense of stability and a sense of community within being away from each other. Having to be shut down for a couple of weeks has definitely had a little extra stress. But 3 things we've talked about: let's be patient, let's be positive, and while we're trying to do that, let's also find ways to be productive, and that's on and off the court. And that's just kind of our core nature and who we are. And we feel like that our young women embody that and embrace where we are. I'll to be honest, they don't like it. They want to be on the court. We do a mental health checkup and a wellness checkup, periodically. And the last one was like, Coach, we're all pretty good, but we need to get back on the court. That's the one thing that they miss. And when they miss it and they need it, then we've got to obviously try to help them navigate through that. But we talk about controlling the controllables just like every other coach does. And when we can't control it, we have to embrace it and then stay positive through it and find joy. And there's also times where we talk about, strengthening their faith, strengthening their academics, and enjoying some other things during this time where we would be full speed ahead. There's an opportunity for them to dwell into some of the other avenues that make them a well-rounded student athlete.
Coach, congratulations again for your announcement to the Blackman Hall of Fame last week, and thank you for doing this. Looking forward to seeing your team back on the floor soon.
Yeah, same here. Thanks for your time and your work. We appreciate it.